Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another Rangers Rundown. I am your host, Swiz, back for another episode. As always, my co-host, Naypay. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm well, mate. How are you?
I am well, mate. First day back at work, so, living the dream, trying to deal with no sleep and working, but it's good, mate. I'm here. Beautiful day for it. We've had about another 100 mil of rain here in Melbourne, but it doesn't look like behind our guest, very special guest. Joe, welcome, mate.
Hey lads, thanks for having me. Happy to be on.
Well, no, it's good. You were very enthusiastic when you spun the wheel. I don't even think that's a punishment because you were happy to come on anyway. But I love it. Me and you both spun the wheel this week, which was quite hilarious. So it's good to have you on, mate.
Some of the punishments on that wheel. This is a pretty good one. So I was more than happy to get this. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's surprisingly there'd be a few people would actually be trying to avoid it as much as possible. But I don't know why. Like I'd surely like this more than sleeping at Cheppers. That's one measure already, Chep. He loves it. He's our number one listener. He sits there and counts how many times we mention him. So there's one early for you, mate.
Love it.
That's good. Before we do jump into talking all things Joe Blyth today, we got a few things happening in the club. I'll start off with T20 tomorrow night, which Joe is hopefully going to feature a lot in. All going well. We are playing Eildon Park at home. It's the first week of the finals, so the boys were good enough to qualify into the top 8. Had the week off last week. Eildon Park's got through. They were the 9th place team. I think we only just got them out by percentage anyway, so should be a good match, mate.
Yeah, looking forward to it. There was a little bit of confusion on who we'd be playing. So I think originally Mombok finished 9th, and then last week with the wildcard round, it got swapped. So from what we've seen, they're a pretty good side in Park. They've had a pretty good win last week and an exciting finish. So it should be a good battle. And
this is a good thing about this T20 format because Eildon Park being a Ferntree Gully side, it's a team that we don't come up against. So something new for everybody, which will be exciting for I think, all the lads.
Yeah, it's really good fun. We had Bayswater earlier in this season for the T20s, just sides we don't get to see. Apart from Timmy Sugarmar, our guest player, he's from Eildon Park, so he'll probably know all of them, but he might be able to give us the inside scoop, which will be handy.
Yeah, no, I love it. There's somebody who plays in a different comp during the winter. I must admit, it's a lot of fun playing against teams and players that you never come up against. It's probably, it's good for those rivalries. Obviously, like this week, you guys are playing South Croydon in the 2-dayer and that. But when you obviously play against teams multiple times a year, it starts to, there's a lot of obviously figuring each other out, and you've got the plans and stuff, but to come up with some fresh players and that, and who you have no idea how they're going to try to attack you when you're steaming in from that northern end, mate. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's not something we've had a lot of, to be honest, the last few years, because we've sort of gone up the 3 grades, so we haven't had a whole heap of playing the same people a few times. So this year in Chalope, it's the first year for a few years we've got to see the same faces as we did last year. So yeah, it's something we're used to, at least coming up against new opposition.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously not the only thing happening this week. Naypay, do you want to talk about Saturday night?
Yeah, the casino night. I think we've sold a few tickets now. So just buy your tickets online. It's $10 cheaper than it would be on the night. So you just get given chips and stuff like that, and then if you lose them pretty quickly, you can buy back in, and there'll be prizes at the end of the night for someone who's got the most chips.
I love that. And we're going to do a bit of comp to get people started. There'll be somebody starting off maybe with some extra chips. Also free dinners on the line. And we'll post about this on the socials. But this Thursday, we're going to do a bit of a fun challenge. Social media team's going to be there ready to go. So it's bring your cricket gear as normal, but you can't bring your cricket bag. So we've got no bags at training this Thursday night. There will be obviously Naypay and probably Molly with the cameras and maybe a couple of those interviews that they do so well. And there will be a prize for, I guess, the most creative. So again, we'll be posting that. When I messaged your brother about this, Joe, he was all about this. So he loved the idea. I was like, it's not going to disrupt training. He's like, no, bring it on. This will be great.
Yeah.
So we know we've got a few characters down at the club. What are we expecting, Naypay? What do you think's the most random, or who do you think might be the most random person to really get involved in this?
I reckon Caro could just bring his stuff under his arm. I don't reckon he'll bring the kit anyway. He loses everything anyway, so he's a big chance to just bring stuff under his arm, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I love it. So yeah, the challenge is out there, guys. I've seen a couple footy clubs do this. I think you've done this in the past as a footy club. A little bit different with the cricket gear. So yeah, it should be interesting. Nate's giving me a kind of a little bit of a nod there, so it'll be good. So we're on this week. Going on to quickly results from last week. We're not going to go into the full details of all the other games, but we will go into just the women's quickly because they're the only obviously team to play and finish their game. I think your guys are still playing a 2-day game. Am I right, Naypay? The juniors?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the under 14s didn't get on, as also obviously the six who usually play 1 day, so they weren't up. So we'll just very quickly touch on the ladies. Unfortunately, this was a real winnable game and got the absolute worst of the conditions. Batting first and absolutely after it had been bucketing down all Sunday, cleared up for a while for us to go out there and bat. And as you can you'll see by this scorecard. Our girls did spend quite a bit of time at the crease. We had Georgia 37 balls, Mia spent 30, and Ash Boyd 16 at the top. Ash, who's usually a boundary hitter, and same with Georgia, just couldn't get through the slot there. So yeah, that was hard. And then at the end, the girls were trying to lift the run rate, but yeah, you can see there's a few ducks in the pond. Unfortunately, Jess Roberts playing some cricket very quickly after birth, so congratulations to her. Showing it how it's done, but unfortunately didn't get on the scoreboard this week. So unfortunately 53 was the total, and talking to Grant, it was probably about 20 runs short. And then Eastfield, it did start to dry up more for them. And though they only hit the one boundary, it was becoming a little bit easier to bat on. Chased it down in the 15th over. The standout there, Catherine Owen with 2 for 10 on fire with the ball at the moment. Belinda Tawney, the better Tawney, as she was saying on the podcast the other day, 1 for 5. And Georgia Stutzel up the top, 3 overs, none for 2 off her 1. So bowling very tight. The girls did their best. As I said, this was probably the game that we were penciling in to get us on the board, and unfortunately, as cricket can do sometimes, and I know you guys found this out last week, Joe, when the council decided to put a beach on the Shilcock North Reserve and make it fun to try to chase down 270. The conditions just weren't in the girls' favour.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of sand down. It didn't have too much of an impact for us, to be honest. I don't think it certainly would have made 130 runs difference in our game, that's for sure. It ran across the ground pretty well for us, but yeah, we didn't have the rain to deal with like they would have yesterday. That would have made it a bit of a nightmare for them.
Yeah, 100%. So they'll keep plugging along. It's, don't worry, ladies, it'll come, it'll turn for you. But unfortunately, that is the way it goes. But well done, especially the Cat there for another couple of wickets. All right. So, but we are here to talk about you, Joe. It's been a long and very, very good career. Over 300 games in total. I don't know if you're like Chipper and you didn't actually message me the amounts and stuff like that. Like maybe a couple other people who are on the show. So we like a little bit of modesty, but at the same time, it's nothing better than embellishing your own records. But we'll wind back, mate. So how did it all start? How did you get involved in cricket?
Pretty much same as every young Aussie. It was in the backyard with my brother. With Jack. Dad was an honorary life member at Doncaster Cricket Club, so we kind of grew up at the cricket club. Some of my earliest memories are sitting by the bar watching Dad play, watching the seniors there play, just being an absolute pest as a 4 or 5 year old, annoying everyone around. But started playing juniors there, and then as I sort of grew up, Jack went off and played some Premier cricket, and then followed in his footsteps a few years later to Fitzroy Donny, and then from there, what was it, about 5 years ago, made the move over to the Rangers and have just loved it since.
No, I love it, mate. Nate, I'll let you go with the next one.
What was it like growing up with Jack, and how were the backyard games?
Oh, Jack and I had heaps of fun growing up. Definitely the most fun was had when Mum and Dad would sort of go out, and then all the furniture would get pushed to the side in the house, and whatever the game was, Mum definitely wouldn't have approved. But we came up with a game called the table game. So we just get like a little tennis ball or a soft ball and we just piff it off the dining room table at each other. And if you dropped it or fumbled it, you'd lose. And then when the weather was good, we'd be outside in the backyard. And being the younger brother, there's a reason why I'm an opening bowler and he's an opening bat. Being the younger brother, you're always bowling at him. You'd snick him off, he'd never be out, that kind of stuff. He'd hit it over the fence and it's your turn to bat, so he'd make you go get the ball and all that. And then I'd get so excited that it's my turn to bat, so I'd hit it straight over the fence and I'd be 6 and out straight away. But now some pretty good battles in the backyard. We used to have to put new lights up and get glow-in-the-dark tennis balls and stuff like that so we could play as late as possible.
And I see that hasn't changed, mate, because one of the women's games recently, and there was some footage of it. Your brother, I don't know who dragged who down to the nets, but there was some pretty interesting catching games going on between both of you.
Yeah, we do a lot of it, so you've got to mix it up to keep it interesting. I can't even think of what game it was. Oh, that was after the washout, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, we obviously haven't had the start to the year we've wanted personally and as a team. So I think just any chance we get to try and do something a bit extra, we're heading down anyway. So we thought we'd just get a little bit of work in while we were supporting the women's team.
I love that, mate. You sit there and say you're an opening bowler, but let's even go back at like juniors before we got into the Premier chat. There's some decent batting here, and especially like this is under 12s, and you're racking up 70s and 56 and 63. I'm pretty sure like a couple of seasons later, I do see you make a ton here. Like there's for a guy who's meant to be a bowler, what actually happened? Because it looked like you're absolutely flying as a batsman in your early days.
Yeah, that's sort of where the good batting stopped, I think, about that under 14s, under 16s time. The under 12s numbers, that was handy because I think we only had like 8 or 9 players and you had to retire on 30 or 35 or whatever it was. So normally if you had 11 or 12 and you retired, you wouldn't get to come back. But because we only had 8 or 9 players, I always got to come back and keep batting, which was made for some good fun.
I like that. Talk us, mate, because I think it is your only ton. Was that under 16s?
Yeah, so I would have been 13 or 14 and I'd played the year. I was top age under 14s and played the year, I think, in the 16 side. And I think it was the first final. We were playing against Heatherdale and yeah, it was 100 in the losing side though, so it doesn't count, which is which is a problem. So I need to get 100 in the winning side at some point here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this was your fault at all, mate, because I've got the scorecard up there. I don't know if you can see it, but there wasn't a lot of friends there that day, but not to pick on some young fellas there, but as you're saying there, mate, you're a 14-year-old, absolutely making a ton. It's playing in the higher grades. It probably shows why you then made the transition to Premier. Not just the fact that, obviously your brother was there, but on some pretty decent form. And that's just with the bat, let alone what your main skill is, which is obviously bowling.
Yeah, well, growing up, I always thought I was a batsman. I always rated myself as a bat, and my bowling, I used to be a wicket keeper. And I tried bowling some leg spin. I wasn't very good at the leggies, but I gave him a crack. And then it wasn't until maybe under 14s, I think, in outer east side, I got picked. I thought I was trialling as a batsman and ended up batting at 11 and opening the bowling for the carnival. So it kind of just flipped for me around that sort of 14, 15 age, and then started focusing on my bowling a bit more.
Well, to give the guys an idea, especially those who have never been at a Premier club, mate, what is it like when you first walk in there? Sort of talk to us about the standards, the training, everything that comes with being at a Premier club.
Trying to think back to my first sort of experiences. I think I first went down at maybe 14 or 15, just in like the development squad sort of stuff, just because I had the connection with Jack there and it gave me the chance. And I reckon the first time I ever went down to training, I was met at the gate by Glenn Maxwell, who was, welcome me down and doing all this. And he was still sort of early days there. I think he was just into the Vic side, but I just remember being absolutely starstruck. I was like, oh my God, I watched him on the telly the other day. And then, I think it was the following season I went down and I absolutely loved it. It was just, it's a bit of a different environment where, the Rangers were all just best mates coming down to have a hit, whereas, it's a lot more competitive and everyone's trying to get as high as possible. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of hard work outside of sort of the four walls of the club as well. Got to do a lot of stuff on your days off and a lot of recovery. But yeah, I absolutely loved it.
And you said they're like meeting Maxi, and I'm probably a lucky one because I used to get to watch Maxi play as a junior over at South Belgrave. Lovely bloke. What is it like to have players of that sort of caliber in there? And you obviously, when they aren't at Victorian Australian, coming down and training and seeing how they go about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Some of my favourite ones were Dirk Nannis was a Fitzroy lad. He didn't have much to do with the club when I was down there. He was sort of a bit sort of retired from that kind of stuff, but he came down a few times, and just watching the way he went about and getting to watch him bowl up close was a little bit terrifying, even though I was never having to face him, just seeing how quick he was bowling. But yeah, just seeing how sort of methodical these guys are with their training and how hard they work and the actual skill level they have. It's definitely pretty humbling when you're 16, 17 and you rate yourself pretty highly and you go see what actual good cricketers look like. It can knock you back a few pegs pretty quick.
No, for sure. Obviously just the intensity, the fielding, and most of the time, I'm sure how Fitzroy Doncaster do it, but there's, it's not just the couple of sessions a week. There's more sessions obviously involved at the club, and then I guess trying to do your own things away from the club as well.
Yeah, so during the season, it's pretty standard, the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, just because obviously, people have families and jobs and stuff. We'd all love to be professional cricketers and, have it as our job, but unfortunately it's not the reality. But yeah, in the off season, it was 7:30, 8 a.m. at Princess Park on a Saturday morning. We do sort of 45 to an hour's worth of running and then another 45, 50 minutes worth of fielding. Then Monday night, you'd be either indoor training or outdoor, a bit more fitness and fielding, and then another session on the Wednesday. And then occasionally you'd have sort of a few workshops through the preseason, maybe like 2 or 3 workshops just sort of dotted throughout to just cover sort of the team, I guess, ethos for the season and discussing, white ball, red ball cricket, tactics, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let Nay get into the Rangers stuff in a moment, but before, any memorable wickets or moments there while you were at Fitzroy Doncaster?
It wasn't anything I did, but we did have a game. We can talk to Timmy Sugarmar about it tomorrow night because he was playing for Ringwood on the opposition. But we had a Sec 11 final at Shrams against Ringwood, and one of our guys, Kamanayaga, we used to call him the Maiden King. He was about 6'7" or 8", and he had the most upright bowling action. So he's probably releasing it from about 8, 9 foot tall. And I'm pretty sure he had about a 15+ over spell, and he took, I think, like 5 for 1 or something ridiculous. It was just insane. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever been a part of. So I think that's probably one of the biggest memories I have there.
Yeah, and nothing better without being in the field and something like that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll bring one up just because I'm going to, just because my mate's involved in this and that. But a couple of my good mates, especially Stevie Cannon, who made 70 this day, and you probably played against a lot of, actually, I was looking through this, especially the Hawthorn Monash guys. They end up actually at my old club, Cano, Stubbsy, Amal, Dish, all these guys. But yeah, you got out my good mate Stubbsy that day. So Stevie will love that because he'll probably be watching this and see that he made 70. But I just to get into my mate Stubbsy there, the fact that you knocked him over and that. So no, I love that. Loving actually going through some of these scorecards and seeing the crossover of all these players that I've sort of known and seen over a long time, and gone, the Blyths have both played against a lot of these guys, and that's the great thing about cricket because it's such a small world and small community that you do obviously come up against a lot of either your mates or mates of mates and stuff like that. So which I love. And then from there, obviously, you've made the transition, and I'll get Nate to talk about this.
Yeah, well, obviously 5 years ago, came over to the Rang. What were your first impressions?
First impression, I'm pretty sure my first session trying to remember. It was sort of mid-late October because it was one of those COVID years where we had a bit of a late start. And it was a bit of a wet morning down at Silcock, I'm pretty sure. And I think we just sort of did a little bit of running and a bit of fielding. It was pretty low key. Tomo was running it. And I told Em, my partner at the time, but wife now, that I was like, nah, I'm not gonna play cricket this year. I just started doing shift work and I couldn't commit and I just wanted the year off. And I told her I was going to a session and she was like, oh, I thought you weren't playing. She knew what was coming. As soon as I got home, I was like, yeah, it was pretty fun. I reckon I might I might play again. I was just blown away by I think just the quality of people. And it's pretty much the same group that we have there now. You know, all the sort of young guys, like I think Matty Lowe was probably one of the first blokes that I remember that I met and had a chat to. And it's just been so cool because he would have been, 19, 20, 21 at the time. And watching all those guys grow has been so much fun the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously we know what's happened the last 3 years with the three-peat. But is there any other premierships that stick out?
In my career in general, or at the club?
Just in any other clubs you've played at, or past the last one though.
Yeah, it was. The last one was insane. The Newey one was one of the most fun days I've ever had, just with you boys in the twos, getting the job done and just getting to celebrate as a whole club. Before the Rangers, I probably didn't have a lot of premiership success. I played in a losing one with Jack in the seconds at Fitzroy. And it's almost going back to, I think I was like 12 or 13 and I played in a senior premiership with Dad back at Doncaster. That was pretty cool. I remember that really clearly. And I didn't get to do much celebrating because I was, 12 or 13. Mum took me home pretty early, but got pretty good memories of that. Getting to win one with Dad was pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just need to know what was going through your head when the ball went up last year and the last ball in the grand final. What was going through the head when you were saying, that's my catch?
I was just like, if anyone comes anywhere near me, I'm going to drop kick him out of the way and catch this in my mouth if I have to. That ball was never hitting the ground, that's for sure.
Unreal.
Yeah, no, awesome. Like to think that, I was playing in a first 11 flag, but then to back it up and to do the triple with mates and your brother as well. There must be a lot of satisfaction, especially as you said, you've obviously had a lot of individual success, but not having that team success until really coming to Rangers. Yeah,
and it's a little bit different at Premier Cricket because it is team first cricket, and that's the coaches back at Fitzroy were really big on that. And they were terrific coaches I had there. But it's a little bit more of an individual game, Premier Cricket, because everyone's trying to, get themselves up. People are potentially pushing to play professional cricket and, first class cricket, those sort of things. That coming back to local cricket where it's just team. Like, I don't care if I make a duck and don't take a wicket. If we win, it's a team first. Whereas at Premier Cricket, you may be a little bit more flat about your personal performance, even when the team goes well. Not that winning isn't still the ultimate goal, but just getting to be a part of a team and a club just overall, most of my best mates now are at the club. So getting to do it with them has been pretty special.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I've just put up the three grand finals here. So we got the one back in the Newey. We won't stitch your brother up here after making a duck in that game, but obviously getting a few there, being part of those partnerships, especially with Blake, who went on and made a ton.
Oh yeah. Yep.
To say, kind of talk us through that on that for what you remember of it, because the guys have obviously put on a massive score on the board, 305, and South Warrandyte have fought it out. What do you actually remember much of that game?
Yeah, I remember it really clearly. Unfortunately for Jack, I remember him going out very clearly. But in saying that, the way he bowled on day 2 was unbelievable. He was so good. He's made the duck, but he's almost won us the game with his bowling the next day. I just remember having so much fun getting out there and batting. I think maybe I started off with Horse, and we just tried to get the ball rolling a little bit, and then getting to bat with Blake. Just what he did that day was incredible. Like, he was just so in control from ball one, and then all the way through. And yeah, to do that on the biggest stage for a club's first 11 was just special. I remember being pretty shattered when I went out though, because we'd sort of just fought back and maybe got our noses in front, and then went out to a very wide half volley that I've somehow chopped back onto my stumps, and I was not very happy, that's for sure.
Let's see if we can do it. Let's.
Fantastic. Yeah. I've definitely watched it a few times. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, the bat's gone too.
Oh, yeah. I probably could have left it. Almost would have been a wide, but yeah, I think I just put one or two away in a similar spot, and probably just got a bit ahead of myself and lost focus for one ball. And yeah, as a batsman, that's all it takes.
100%. Did the main thing there, and the brothers combining for the to get out the I think it's Roger Karuna who got the 127 that day. This point, and as you said, your brother bowled absolutely a treat there, taking the nearly the 20 overs for 3 for 52, not giving much. So, but they gave it a shot there. They obviously got quite close, and those sort of moments for our younger guys there who might have not played a lot of cricket and been in these positions, and we've seen it. Like, I know even the guys in the fifths and the sixths, and you go off there at your tea break. And you've got a couple of set batsmen going and stuff. What's your sort of mentality? What are you doing there to sort of, because you're going to have to come back with a ball at some point. So what does, give us a bit of an insight of, and not just necessarily this game, but just in sort of general for cricket.
Yeah, I guess with that granny at the tea break, it probably wasn't really thinking too much about that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think we had them like 6 for 60 or something. So would have been about the tea break that happened, so we're probably feeling pretty good about ourselves. But yeah, and it was the same last year in the grand final. They really got on top, and it's just about staying in the moment, because all it takes is one moment in a game of cricket to flip it on its head. There might be a 150-run partnership, but one little, one absolute screamer, one mistake from a batter, whatever it might be. Sorry, Nathan, we're distracting your laundry here.
Yeah, I left my jumper's been wet for 3 days, and I left it out the line, and now it's just started pissing down.
That's cold.
Oh, sorry, boys. Back inside.
No, I love that. That's what we expect here at the Rangers Rundown, mate.
Unreal. It's just about staying up for those little moments. Switching off between balls, but really staying in the contest, because you don't want to miss that half chance when it comes if you weren't ready for it. And that's all it can take sometimes. Like Cutler and Denny in that game were unbelievable with the bat. I think it might have been Jenk. Jenk took a really good catch at long on to break the partnership. Just because he stayed in the contest, he was ready to go, and then from there, we were off, which was good.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'll fast forward to the one against St Andrews the following year, which again probably. It's funny because these things, like, you look back and you go, okay, you're passing 4 down and stuff like that, but much tighter contests than sometimes these do look on the scorecard. So they've obviously made the 201. You and Jack have obviously had to bowl a lot of overs that day. You've gone the 2 for 39. Even that sort of, mate, obviously you've bowled a lot of long spells and stuff through that, but so how do you is there any way you kind of prepare yourself or go about it? I'm just trying to think of some of our younger players around the club, but sort of any advice you sort of give and talk us through that sort of day of bowling that many overs and the damage that obviously you did.
I guess with bowling, long spells, bowling's a bit of a weird one, because you can spend a lot of time in the gym and you can do a lot of running, but nothing really prepares you for bowling like bowling. So, if you want to bowl long spells, but you're only bowling for 15, 20 minutes a night at training, that doesn't quite, add up. So if you do want to be able to bowl those long spells, you got to work on your fitness and work on your sprinting and those sort of things. But you've also got to be putting in the work at training to, you don't have to bowl all night. 'Cause obviously we don't want to wipe ourselves out for Saturdays, but we got to be willing to, train hard and actually bowl some long spells at training as well to make sure that, at 6:30 on, day 2 of a grand final, if you're having a bowl, you're 25th or maybe 30th over, if you've had a really good day, you can still be as close to your best as possible.
Good. And we gave you a stitch up before, but let's do the opposite here. Let's watch your bowling for Dwayne Paisley. Pretty good celebration this as well, and that obviously.
Yeah, a little bit of carry on by me after this one.
Which is nothing wrong with it in a grand final, mate. This is what it's about. First wicket of the day, getting us kicked off. Oh, the arm's gone out too.
Yeah, not my proudest celebration, that one. I think
these,
mate. Yeah, I nearly took Mitch's eye out, high-fiving him as well. I was a little bit fired up after that one.
I'm thinking 12th man there, but they're trying to maybe give the old, dry hump instead of, or the kiss instead of putting these willy-nilly high fives out, mate. It's but no, that fantastic. That so obviously, good. You didn't need to bat in that game, which is always good. Jenk and Darcy so good at the top there. Still took the 70-odd overs. You and Bolts were listed to come potentially next. So I'm sure there's some nervous moments there waiting, but just hoping the boys get the job done.
Yeah, I was in next. I was at 7. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Stick or Bolts. I think after me. I can't remember who was listed.
They've listed Bolts, but I think it was meant to be you and then Bolts. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I can't remember what Jack and Caro put on, but it probably would have been like 30 or 40. And I remember at the start being like, "Yep, get me out there. I want to get out there." Like, how good. And then as it sort of got to 20, I was like, "Oh yeah, that'll be all right." And it got to 10, and I was like, "Oh, don't go out now, please." I don't want to go out with 5 to get or something. I go out and make a duck. But no, it was definitely a few nerves. But watching Turnbull and Jank that day. So I've just got the sun coming through now. Try and reposition myself.
Typical
Turnbull and it's ridiculous. It was hailing about 2 hours ago. Turnbull and Jank that day were unbelievable. I think we were numb for 130 or 50 or something like that. Blake got the job done. He may have absolutely smacked one first ball to the keeper and been given not out, but that's all right. That happens.
That's cricket, mate.
Absolutely. And then
how many times that would have happened to you over the years? I'm sure you've absolutely had somebody plum, or you've got the snick, and the umpire's giving you absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it happens a bit, but they do their best job, the umpires, and as annoyed as I do sometimes get and carry on a little bit, we wouldn't have a game without them. So, you got to take their decision and move on, and maybe have a few quiet words to yourself in the change room to show your disgust. But you get the good ones, and then there's other days where you'll hit someone and it's going 2 foot down leg and you get the wicket. So that always comes and goes both ways.
Yeah, for sure. I'll get Naypay and you to talk through the main one from last year. Obviously, it's fair to say talk about starring in a game. But yeah, I'll let you two go through this.
Yeah, no. Well, I think we were in a bit of trouble early on, weren't we? I think the scorecard there
doesn't have the outs, but yeah,
look at this. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But obviously, and then Joey came in, and we know what he did. I think. How many times do you reckon you watch the innings?
Not too many. The innings I've watched the last wicket more times than I could count. That's for sure. I haven't watched the innings too many times. I've watched the highlights Harry Lowe put out maybe a couple of times, but yeah, any time I go to the game, I just can't help but watch the last ball, or even just the wickets in general.
Yeah, no, obviously they were cruising on day 2, and then it was getting pretty nervous from the sidelines. I couldn't imagine how it was out there. And then obviously just the relief taking that last wicket if it's on their Swiz.
Yeah, I'll get that. So we had the batting 228, and there's Joey pumping up his tires here. He's talked about not being with bowling being his strong suit and not his batting, but 80 off 109 in a grand final says it all. And then coming in there with the bowling, and they didn't have the last wicket, but I'm going to gather it was
Cardamom was the last one.
Yeah, Cardamom. Yeah. And there we go.
Yeah, the heart rate was about 150 here, I reckon.
Say mind the language there for the home viewers and that, but rightly so. Like the dream is always like people sit there and go, love to play in a premiership, love to play with mates, to play with a family member, but let alone just a premiership. To actually have that situation where it comes down to the last ball and you're in control of that situation, and it's such a weird game. Cricket, and only probably baseball with obviously the pitcher and the kind of catcher, but it's literally just as much as all the fielders. It comes down to you're the one standing at the mark, and it's all on your shoulders, mate. To just talk us through it.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I remember all of it completely. It's definitely a bit of a blur. I was surprisingly calm. I think I felt like I had good rhythm, and if I feel like I've got good rhythm, I'm pretty calm when I'm bowling. It's when things don't feel right and I'm feeling clunky and stuff, I start to get a little bit nervous. But yeah, I just remember I actually had the rules wrong because I thought if we tied, we won the flag. I thought it had been the top side, but it turns out it was a shared premiership. So it was probably good for my nerves that I didn't know that, because I was like, I've got 2 runs to play with. Like, if he edges one into the outfield, we'll run him out, coming back for the 3rd. Happy days. But yeah, I just remember running in, just thinking, all right, just get it up there, get it full. I wanted to be pretty straight. So I was sort of like, if he schnicks a wide one that goes for 4, I'll probably never forgive myself in quick cricket. So I was like, I've got to be pretty straight here so that if he does get a schnick, it's either going to go to horse or it'll hit the stumps. And then, as soon as it went up, I was like, that's my ball. I'm not letting anyone else near that. Then, I remember it going into the hands. I turned around and Channy was right there, and I think I just tried to spear tackle him, and the celebration started.
When do you think the celebrations actually ended, mate?
No.
I'll let you know when they do. I think they're still going.
My house is still recovering, actually.
Yeah, I remember I messaged Naypay the other day about something, and I think the last message that I'd had from him was the Monday after the granny, and I think he messaged me at like 10 o'clock or maybe 11 o'clock, and he's like, "Oh, you coming down to the Dawson?" And I was like, "Yeah, mate, like give me a minute." Like I got home from his place at like 4:30 or something, and so I'd been up for 20 minutes. And I was like, "Are you blokes already there?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, we were parked outside waiting for it to open." So I was, very glad I left Naypay's house, because I don't think I'd still be here today if I'd tried to party with them for that long.
Oh, that's great, mate. Played with some different characters over here. Well, obviously at Fitzroy and especially now at Rangers. Best players or most interesting characters, I guess, you've played with, especially here at Rang.
Oh, interesting characters is a tough one. My favourite teammate, I think, of all time is Darcy Carrigan. Someone asked me that last year, and I was like, "Oh, Caro, he's so much fun to play with," and he showed it again this weekend. He came out to bat. He's trained twice. I watched him bat on Thursday night, and I think he went out about 10 times. The only balls he hit, he was pretty much edging. And then he came out on Saturday. We were 8 for 180 or something like that. So we're on the verge of sort of getting a decent score, but we needed to knuckle in. And I was like, "Oh, mate, just, have a look. He's doing this, he's doing that. Like, just be careful." And I reckon he tried to hit 5 of his first 10 balls for 6. And then, played a switch hit off Frosty, which I don't think he's ever played a switch hit in his life, and he's hit him for 6 at Cheong, which is not a small boundary. And he's made 30 off 30 and got us to, nearly 250. It's just, he's an absolute competitive beast. He's so much fun to play with. And he just, when you need someone to stand up in crucial moments in games of cricket, he is just the absolute man for that. If you need a wicket out of absolutely nowhere, he's the man to go to, because he just has a knack of just standing up in big moments and just getting the job done.
Yeah, no, for sure. Bit like yourself there, mate. Have you had a word to the captain, because you've made 49 on the weekend, you've made 80 in the grand final, and go, mate, we've been struggling a few early games here. Have you thought about, maybe putting our best batsman where it belongs?
Well, I was supposed to bat at 7 on Saturday.
Too low.
No, I was supposed to bat at 7, and Jack obviously didn't like that idea, so he whacked a ball back at me when I was giving him throwdowns and buggered up my finger, so I had to go and get a couple of stitches, which is why I ended up down at 9. But nah, the boys in the top order, they do an awesome job. Like, I'm not going to be anywhere near as good facing the new ball as I would be at 8 or 9, so I'm pretty happy taking the old, straight up and down ball later on in the innings and try to swing and get lucky to a few.
Yeah, I was talking to Naypay about this on the weekend. It's the fast bowlers need a bit of a union here, because you guys are doing pretty well with the stick, and you're getting shafted.
Nah, we stick together, us fast bowlers. If we're all batting together down the end, we'll just, stand out there and say, oh, we might as well show the batters how it's done.
Yeah. There's a couple of the batsmen here, but I think we'll be digging in this week, going, I'll show these frigging bowlers how life is.
Yeah, well, that's coming from a bloke that I'm pretty sure I had like 40 runs in 5 hits before the weekend, so I certainly can't talk.
Not your fault, mate. Batting too low to have that contribution. It's
I've had plenty of time to bat. Don't you worry. It's not been through lack of opportunity.
What about you, Naypay? You obviously have seen Joe and his career down here at Rangers and that. What have you seen from the great? Well, I've got to say young fella, because you're not even 30 yet.
Nah, he's been unreal since he's come down to the club. Brought some professionalism that we probably needed. And yeah, between him and Jack, it probably speaks volumes that we've won 3 premierships in a row. And you look at the ones now and you go, oh, they're whatever they are, 1 and 4 or whatever, but definitely not out of it with, those 2 blokes leading the club and the tactics and stuff that they work on, the countless phone calls and that during the week. So yeah, just unreal from Joey. It's been unreal to have him down at the club for the last 5 years, and hopefully he sticks around for 5 more if his body holds up.
The main thing with you guys, both of you, Joe, give Nate some advice here, because he's half your age, mate, and he's falling apart.
Oh, mate, I've got an injured side. I've done my finger. I've got a bad knee. I'm not the man to ask for advice. I know how to injure myself. I don't know how to fix it.
I'll leave you with one last one. It's mate, you've played a lot of cricket, you've seen a lot of cricket, and that is there anything you change about cricket that you think could be make the game more enjoyable?
Oh, yeah, I did see this that you sent me earlier, and that's a purely selfish thing that I would change. As a big in-swing bowler, I'd bugger off the hit outside the line of off stump rule for LBs, and I reckon I would have about 1,000 wickets.
I love that.
That's the one rule I'd get rid of, because I hate it. It cost me so many wickets.
And especially with these now, mate, batsman's game, T20, we've got short boundaries and stuff like that. It's got to be something for the bowlers. That's
it. Give something back to us bowlers. We make it exciting. So, it's a game without the bowler. Game doesn't start till we're ready. So they've got to give us something.
That's right.
Bigger bats, shorter boundaries,
We've lost Naypay. I'm sure he's out.
Yeah, he's had enough.
Something like that. He's had a big day, the young fella.
Bring his washing back.
I love that. No, mate, appreciate you jumping on. It's always good to have a chat. You're awesome around the club. I know you've been very welcoming with me coming back on that, and you and obviously your brother, very approachable people. So love obviously being in a part of a club with you, mate. And as Naypay said, hopefully there's many years to come.
Absolutely. I don't plan on going anywhere, that's for sure. As long as my body holds up, I'll keep going. But no, it's been great having you down as well, Swiz. It's nice having someone that's as keen to talk about cricket as I am, because I can quickly exhaust people with how much I love talking cricket. So it's nice having kindred spirit in that regard.
No, not a problem. Here he is. He's back, probably getting some more washing.
Yeah.
Nah. The Wi-Fi dropped out for a second there, and there's no reception at my house. It's in like a massive hole in Mooroolbark, so sort of rely on the Wi-Fi.
Mate, you're not the only one.
Yep.
I still know the issues. I can podcast with someone who's like literally 2 streets away, and for whatever reason, drop out all the time and stuff. There must be just this black hole in the Croydon area. Probably need to hit up these politicians about that. Maybe they can fix the Wi-Fi for us or something. But add that to the 100 things I want to do at Chilcock and at what actually on that, mate? Is there anything we could improve at Chilcock?
Oh, I mean, geez, it's pretty nice. We got probably 2 of the best playing surfaces in the competition, some of the nicest rooms. The only issue really with Silcock is that as soon as it rains about 3 drops, the nets are wet. So if you've got some fast drying synthetic grass, that'd be fantastic.
I did mention the other day, I went up to Mount Evelyn and saw the fact that they've got a cover over their nets now, and the whole it's like a big indoor facility nearly. Yeah, that'd be perfect. So if we've got any people who are also mates with any of these pollies out there, we need to hit them out, or the local mayor or council or something. Maybe we actually just need to elect someone like a Spanner or something. He's very electable and that. need to get him on one of these panels and that, so we can get some money our way.
We'll vote Chepper and get him on the boards. Get him involved.
So,
free jimmies for everyone and undercover nets.
He would have tuned out by now because we haven't mentioned him.
Oh, Jep. I had to make sure we got at least one more in for him.
Yeah. No, it should be good, mate. So thank you once again for those. And we'll put a post about this Thursday night. We are doing no bags at training and that. Bring your best ideas. There's going to be a prize. The social media team will be going, and then there'll be a bit extra there for especially those who are attending casino nights. Get your tickets now because it's going to be a lot of fun. And these are the functions which obviously help the club going forward. And that I know Nay and the social media team and the events planning team have gone through a lot of efforts for this. So it should be an awesome one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to all wear suits as well to the casino night. So dress to impress. Obviously, it's a casino, so yeah, dress to impress, and hopefully you go away with the most chips and a cool prize that we're trying to source still at the moment. But that's besides the point.
Mate, I worked at the casino for many years. I've never seen anybody dress up there. So I was warning and all the cricketers will rock up there in their shorts and their thongs and whatever and stuff like that. So I thought that was just the general code, but I'll have to try to find the suit for it. And then this will be out before. So guys, Tuesday night, get down, watch Joe do his thing against Eldon Park as well. Should be a cracker.
Yeah, we just need the weather to hold off for us, but I think it's going to be all right tomorrow, Arvo. So fingers crossed we can get on. Yeah,
good tomorrow, Arvo. 31 degrees on Thursday. So that should be awesome. And then hopefully the rain stays away on Saturday because, Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was 31 on Saturday. That'd be a cracking day.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we'll wind it up here. As always, thank you, Naypay, all the work you do, mate, and volunteer of the month too. Much well deserved. Because you're doing an awesome job. Even on the weekend, not playing, straight into the canteen. Serving up cold dim sims to Swiz, but that's how you do it. But no, you're the crew doing an awesome job and awesome job of the juniors, and obviously our special guest Joe. Thank you so much for jumping on, mate.
Nah, anytime I spin the wheel, hopefully this is what I land on.
It's going to be better than the night at Chippers. And on that note, we will see you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Bye.